Hi, Tim. Hi, Molly. Tim, I am recording this on Father's Day, so I have to say Happy Father's Day. Clearly, you're a wonderful father. I'm so glad that you and Molly share in your love for Discovery and presumably other Treks as well. That's definitely something that I shared with my dad, and he was the one who introduced me to Star Trek in the first place. So, and my name's Mary, which is close to Molly. It's funny, I'm actually writing a piece right now where I named my character Molly, just in the past few weeks. So when I got this request, I was like, hey, great name. But anyway, I am here, to speak a little bit about, yes, some fond and fun memories, on set, of which there are many. I have to kind of truncate and, find some of my favorites. But I have been so lucky that my experience with my cast and the crew has been so remarkable. Also, I just realized I have my cardboard cutout Laurel, who I kind of always have to bring into the conversation because it's lovely. Some wonderful Klingon members of the Klingon fan empire made this, and I bestowed it upon me at Starbase Indy. So, Laurel, I'm gonna let her say some Klingon, and then I'll get into fun stories. But Klingon mach tach judge. We are Klingons, let it remain. It's hard not to do a cameo and not say some Klingon. So the first story I wanted to tell was the gorgeous, amazing, wonderful experience of working with Jonathan Frakes in the first season on the 10th episode, Despite Yourself. He, of course, we were all so thrilled to have him direct in the first season. And being the 10th episode in, I think we were all starting to get our rhythm. And I know for me, Laurel's plot was continuing to get more and more complex. And the scene that I did in that episode was the big pivotal jail cell scene between Tyler and Laurel. So I was really thrilled and excited. I had heard that he was a real actor's director who also then technically, keeps a very happy crew and creates amazing shots. I mean, obviously, you look at his resume and the things that he has filmed, it's pretty amazing. So I was just thrilled overall. We had a cast dinner, I think, a week or so before, so I'd met him there in my human form, and he was so lovely. And Shazad and I had really discussed that scene because obviously it's very complex, and we knew what the actual circumstances were, but we knew that the audience wouldn't be as aware at that point in time, that they would have a sense that something was up, but they wouldn't know exactly what that was. And so we really came in wanting to play the authenticity of the Klingon side of these characters. And actually, if a fun thing to go back and check out is we ended up replicating some imagery from the 4th episode in the final scene when Laurel comes back to save Voq on the Shenzhou. When he grabs me, and there's certain images that were similar because we wanted to embody or help show why Tyler would suddenly start to remember things, is that he was in similar positions that Voq had been in. So that was something that we had mentioned, and Jonathan obviously encouraged. And that's just kind of the main fun part of this story, is that Jonathan is so collaborative and so smart and so engaged. And he, instead of being in Video Village, kind of outside of the jail cell, he was right there at a monitor. So he wasn't in frame, obviously, but it felt like he was right there energetically with the scene. I would always say, I could just remember his voice going, yes, go, yes, say it again. And he would have, near the end of the scene, after I've said the Klingon and telling you, say your name, or the spell, the prayer should make you remember all that stuff. And when he got really aggressive, and so he really pushed us to go further and further with those moments, which to me, coming from a theater background, was just dynamite and thrilling. And I just felt like such an actor that day and a collaborator, because it's a lot with the prosthetics and the lighting and the setups and everything. It's easy to get lost in all of that. And luckily, because I had great scene partners and overall, engaged directors, I was always able to find my anchor. But that day with Frakes is just one of my favorite days ever, because I just fully didn't even have to worry about the technical stuff. I just got to be present as the actor and go for it. And then there's even a button to this story, which is that Sonequa and Jason Isaacs were actually at Video Village for half of the filming, unbeknownst to us, because their scene was next. And so we're just doing the scene, and then I think we either took a break or for a final setup or something, and Sonequa came in and was crying and was just like, oh, you guys, it's so great. Like, she was so encouraging, which is, of course, I'm sure you've heard, the one of the many, many wonderful qualities of Sonequa Martin Green is her undeniable and I don't want to say unbelievable, because it is believable, because a true leader can be that way, but her ability to support while continuing to lead, and make everyone feel seen and loved. So we had a weird love triangle / love rectangle, or whatever we want to call it, moment where we just got to be like, oh my God, we're making this story. So that's kind of my joyous, fond memory that embodies so much. I mean, that's one example of so many similar moments and days, and all of the moments, you know, offset, where we did have these dinners or game nights, and just would hang out and get to know each other, was such a gift. I mean, I really have become so close with so much of the cast, because they're all just such great people. On the sillier side, speaking of people that I have become great friends with, but that also are complete goofballs, so Shazad and Ken Mitchell are very, very goofy, and I always joke that I feel like I'm like their kid sister. And during the second season, when we were filming our big Klingon episode, Point of Light, I'm already laughing. Well, number one, I call that period of time like Klingon sleepaway camp or whatever, because we were there for almost a month, because we got there early for costume fittings and new prosthetic tests. And then because we were in a bulk of the episode, they dispersed the scenes so that we weren't in prosthetics every day for 5 days, that we had it over the span of 3 weeks. So we were really there together, and we all stayed at the same hotel. And so we would meet up, and like on the days we weren't working, we would hang out, and then we would run lines, and we'd go outside and play ping pong in there, and they had a little ping pong area. And then we'd run the scenes that were coming up, or, you know, it was just, we were able to just be in the world together, for this very, very luxurious amount of time. So that was really fun. But then on certain days on set, as you probably saw, you know, Ken, his Coleshaw character, looked a little bit like a very scary Santa, if you want to lean in that direction, because he had the white hair, and obviously, you know, the House of Core markings and his outfit and all that. And he created this persona, you know, he already had this kind of voice, and he would come up to Shazad and just be like, what do you want for Christmas, little boy? And Shazad would be like, oh, well, and so just things like that. We made up a whole Klingon musical. We had actually, when we had been at the Star Trek convention in Dortmund, in Germany, we had started just like brainstorming a bunch of songs that would be great for a Klingon episode. And that was actually before we even had gotten an outline for that particular episode. But it was based off of what we knew was probably going to come, that I was in charge, that Ken was going to be playing his father, Cole's father, and that, you know, Tyler was, as per usual, conflicted about everything. So we had started to come up with this musical, so then we like played around with that a little bit when we were on set. And the joke too is that I really am not supposed to laugh in the prosthetic. Particularly in the second season, they made it even thinner so you could see if it was starting to come off. So James McKinnon, our department head, would always be like, Mary, stop laughing. And so of course Shazad and Ken would just, you know, aggravate it more and be more goofy. And I had to just basically cover my mouth and just be like, and not laugh, but was genuinely laughing on the inside. I know I mentioned the musical, so I feel like the first few lines that we came up with, because there had been like a very, very brief promo that had shown that I had a garden. And so I get what it's like, here I am in my garden, I don't know what to do. Tyler's here on Kronos, and he hasn't got a clue. That's the opening lines of Point of Light, the musical. So maybe one day we'll actually fully flesh it out. But it's great, and then Coleshaw comes in, and he's a jerk, and then Tyler's just like, who am I? Am I a man or a Klingon? It's great. It's good stuff. But I will always treasure that time as well. It was just such a special moment of Klingon epicness and just goofing around with some of the most fun people I know. I feel like that's it. I've got like silly drool stories. Like in the first season, I accidentally, when I was doing the surgery on Tyler, some drool got down, like just fell on him, and you know, it happens. But and Hugo during Point of Light, who is one of our, he's one of the main prosthetic department makeup artists. He my face was starting to fall off as one's face does. And he did a whole MacGyver thing where, because I had the hair, he could hide it, but he just basically took it and like poked a hole in the back and with like zip ties like pulled it back, and it was great. I got a whole facelift for the last half of filming, and hit it with the hair. So just like so many great moments of people not just having fun, but people who are doing the work because they love it and they want to create good storytelling and create awesome characters. So yeah, that's just like a lot of little fun anecdotes. I feel like those embody a lot of what I took away from the experience, which is that being present and loving one another and celebrating one another's talents and strengths is really the best way to be. And I learned so much about leadership from Sonequa, which to have that be my first big experience on set, on a show, to see such an incredible shining example of that. I'm just forever grateful that was my first introduction. You know, I'm sure I would have learned if I had a terrible number one, but this was a much better way to learn because I saw how fruitful being kind and collaborative can be. So I hope I can be that for others in the future. Star Trek takes place in the future. Funny. All right, I think I've said enough. Yes, as per usual, I have talked a long time, which anyone who knows me knows that this is my MO. But I hope that you enjoyed that. Again, happy Father's Day, since I'm recording it on Father's Day. Yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful week, year. It's always so funny. I'm leaving the Cameo, but it's like, whenever you're watching this, I just hope you're having a good day. Yeah. All right. As we say in Klingon, kapla, success and love. All right. Bye.